Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel. We have a rather unique top story today, something that I saw Tim Pool talking about, and this is prevalent. I think this illustrates some of the ideas and concepts that we talk about when it comes to wokeness and leftism, when it comes to the establishment and their philosophy, their ideologies, and their worldviews. And this is a global thing too, because not only are we contending with the establishment here in the United States, but we're also contending with the globalists. From the Free Press, I'm 28 and I'm scheduled to die in May. Some right to die activists want everyone to have access to euthanasia, even young people with mental illness. Are they also making suicide contagious? Are they making intervention contagious? Are they making common sense, rational thought, sobriety, help, intervention contagious? Why aren't we making that contagious? So when you hear me say, especially here in the United States, that the establishment, the left, leftism, has taken over our institutions, taking over our culture, taking over with their ideology, their philosophy, and worldview. Thankfully, Elon Musk bought Twitter because a lot of them were organizing on Twitter. And from Twitter, they would then, of course, attack and go after anyone who was against leftism. You would be silenced, you would be shamed, you would be censored, and you would be banned. And that's the way it worked, is they used that shame to humiliate people and eviscerate them, even removing the president of the United States. And this is how they work. This is the ideology, this is the philosophy, this is the worldview that has hijacked our cultures, even in the EU as well. They've hijacked it. So 𝐀𝐿𝐴, 28, expects to be euthanized in early May. Her plan, she said, is to be cremated. I do not want to burden my partner with having to keep the grave tidy, 𝐀𝐿𝐴 texted me. We have not picked an urn yet, but they will, but that will be my new house. She added an urn emoji after house. Now, I'm not a medical expert. I am not a mental health expert, but I get the impression that this young woman, despite the fact that she has a mental illness, doesn't quite grasp the concept that death is a permanent thing here for us here on earth. Now, of course, being a person of faith, I believe that we move from one life into the next, and I certainly don't want anyone to experience the next death or the second death, which is not going to be very pleasant for some people. So it's very concerning that individuals have this sort of illusion, this sort of ideology, philosophy, and worldview, and they don't realize the consequences in many of these situations. And we see the behavior, this LARPing type play action that these individual protesters engage in. I mean, they try to learn enough about the law. They try to learn enough about what's going on around them. But of course, as I said, they use shame, intimidation, bullying tactics to ensure that they stay in control, just very much like we're seeing from the Democrats right now with their control of our institutions. 𝐀𝐿𝐴, who lives in a little Dutch town near the German border, once had ambitions to become a psychiatrist, but she was never able to muster the will to finish school or start a career. Maybe she hasn't mustered the will or the self-discipline to take reality into perspective. Where's the intervention from other experts, from other people, maybe even religious leaders? How about that? Maybe speak to someone who can give her a different perspective, a different ideology, a different philosophy. And this is what's so dangerous about wokeness and leftism. As much as they want to complain about the right and Trumpsters and the ideology and philosophy that somehow we as conservatives and the right and Trumpsters and MAGA are all sheep in a cult, why do they not take a moment to reflect on themselves? Now, as a conservative, I take these moments. You see me covering these stories. I read all the stories across all the spectrums. I read the news across all the spectrums. And to report to you guys, to give you these ideas, to give you my opinions about these things, I have to read what they say. And I cover what they say and what they do. So I'm getting their perspective. I'm getting their philosophies, their worldviews and ideologies across as far as what they think. And here's the thing about it is that to me, and I think to most of you guys who watch, it isn't a practical, healthy, functional mindset. She said she was hobbled hobbled by her depression and autism and borderline personality disorder. Now she was tired of living, despite, she said, being in love with her boyfriend. This sounds like someone who does have a mental illness and doesn't seem to have any shame talking about it. And I find it absolutely extraordinary that where's the intervention, right? Where's the concern for her actions? And then, of course, her boyfriend is a 40-year-old IT programmer and living in the house nice with their 2 cats. And so it's a very, very strangely divorced article from reality. Well, I guess it is the reality of this person, but just the dismissive attitude towards the fact that this person is going to die, as though, she's going to take a nap and then wake up and be restored, or go through some treatment program and then be restored back to health. It's absolutely extraordinary to me that we have come this far in the ideology, in the wokeness, in the philosophy of this global ideology. Eat the bugs, live in the pod. So she's bypassing the pod and the bugs right now and going straight to death, which is something that I don't think she quite understands what she's doing. And, where's the boyfriend to come in with intervention? Where are people to come in and say, let's take a look at this for a moment. Let's reflect on this. And we know that there's hardship. Even as believers, even as people of faith, we know that there's tribulations. That's what the Lord said. We will experience tribulations. We will have difficulties, but we can overcome them. I like to always mention that. I always think about the fact that the Lord says that he has overcome this world, which means from a political standpoint, retrospectively, of course, is that he has overcome the system. He has overcome what we now see as the wokeness, the ideology, the philosophy, the worldviews of how they keep everyone under control in their institutions, from their institutions. And I think this is incredibly irresponsible, just in general, because as we saw during the pandemic, right, the government was simply telling people to get the shot, even threatening individuals if they didn't get the shot, that their jobs and their careers could be impacted. And then when you watch a commercial when it comes to the pharmaceutical companies, every single one of them always have to say, consult your medical professional, consult your doctor. But when it was the pandemic, it was always just go and get the shot. Just go and get this. Go and get the booster. It was never allowing people to make an informed decision about their health. Why were they not encouraging people to make informed decisions about their health, about their wellness, finding other solutions to this? I mean, as much as these people talk about solving problems, well, they don't solve a lot of the problems. They do more blaming. But if they would take a moment and reflect on what they're doing, reflect on what they're saying, then we wouldn't have this very blasé attitude, this dismissive attitude about death itself. It has consequences. It has ripple effects. The things you say, the things you think, the things you do, all impact people. I'm sure her death, however she perceives it, I'm not exactly sure, but it's going to impact her family. It's going to impact people around her. And this idea of suicide being contagious is almost unthinkable in a rational society, in a common sense thinking society. It's just extraordinary to me, but I did want to share this with you guys. And obviously, I welcome your thoughts and comments down below. Have you ever considered any of these ideologies, philosophy, worldviews as part of your criteria? And if you live, in the Netherlands, we have someone. One of my top commenters here is from the Netherlands. Perhaps you would like to weigh in on what happens there. But, of course, guys, I want to thank all of you across New Tech, that's Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute, for your guys' continued support, as well as all your support here on YouTube. And that will be the channel icon appearing there on the screen for you guys to click on. You guys can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys in the next video.